Tales from my D&D campaign.
Previously,
all kinds of freaks and killers could be coming out of the woodwork. Oh yeah? Who? He's a famous bounty hunter who goes by the name Daggerface. What? There's no way.
they fought a crystal or something, then read some comic books. Whatever. So they head northwest out of Bankton towards the border of Diluvian-occupied Verandi. They have all 3 magic artifact spoons with them, finally ready to fight their way through to Vistria, save starving people, and make 30,000 gold. Although technically they got Don DiCorso to pay them 10k up front to help with magic item upgrades. And Angel's like, "Oops, I forgot to check in with my contact. You go on ahead and I'll meet up with you in a short while." Because Angel, the player, had some kind of scheduling problem, like had to work overtime or something, and couldn't make it to D&D this week. No problem, we have a couple NPCs to fill in junk. What's the worst that could happen? And that's when they round the bend and run into a stereotypical fallen trees ambush next to a steep hill.
I blame you for failing to scout ahead, half-orc.
Yeah, when did I ever say I was good at scouting?
You've got to be good at something. Your entrance was so badass.
It was pretty boss. I'll fly up to get a better view of the situation. And they are surrounded, with a barbarian in front and a warlock to the side, each with a bunch of minions. And on the other side, on the hard-to-reach escarpment, are a scrawny wizard and the amazing Daggerface. You stole my name! Huh? Who the hell are you? I'm Daggerface! No, you look like a fishing accident. I'm the world-famous bounty hunter, Daggerface. Right, BX? Yeah, I'm gonna go with the guy who's paying me. Also, his face is made of knives. I am Daggerface! I'll kill you! And they roll initiative, and pretty rapidly, things start going downhill. The warlock does significant, consistent damage, plus he has scout levels for mobility. And the half-plate thug minions are blocking Black and Half-Orc from reaching him. LittleOne gets in a slogging match with the barbarian, Dwarf Daggerface is trying to keep the thugs busy, and that only leaves Draven to deal with the enemies on the hill, after buffing the party's armor class and flying up. And due to a string of horrible dice rolls, their NPCs can't even drop one of the armored minions. But the real problem is Warforged Daggerface. His wizard cast a vision-blocking, obscuring mist spell, so the two of them can move in and out, only exposing themselves to danger every second round, as they each make ranged attacks against the party. And holy crap, did Warforged Daggerface make ranged attacks. He was higher level than the player characters, with some kind of crazy dagger-throwing prestige class. He was throwing 2 blades around, and doing bullshit trick shots, like ranged trip attacks that still deal full damage. How the hell does he knock me down and deal damage with a throwing knife? I don't know. Pin your pant leg to the ground when you were mid-step, through your calf? And the wizard casts a flaming sphere spell. Behold my mighty orb! Maybe you should save your castings for useful things. Let Daggerface handle the offense. I'm Daggerface! And the heroes keep focusing on the non-minion members of Warforged Daggerface's gang, because they seem the most dangerous. But they don't have enough manpower to send someone up the path to the hilltop. These two so don't count. Fortunately, Draven has a solution. The end of my crossbow rotates, and I charge up the wand of Scorching Ray and fire down at the Warforged. And the wand launches 2 fiery blasts, and Warforged Daggerface manages to sidestep one. Then with a roll of the dice, he absorbs the second ray with crossed arms, and fires it right back up at Draven. What the hell is that? The Spell Reflection Rogue Alternate Class feature. He traded Evasion for the ability to deflect missed ranged attack spells a few times per day. Then he got back Evasion from his Master Thrower Prestige class. We are screwed. His AC is high enough that I missed 2 touch attacks, and he gets to punish me for them. Even if I drop this barbarian, it's gonna take several rounds to get up that hill, all while he bullshit dagger trips me. I took a lot of damage from this warlock. Also, Half-Orc just died. Then I'm even angrier. In character. Seriously though, I'm gonna tear off Daggerface's dagger face and turn it into a helmet for Daggerface. Yeah! And somebody finally drops one of the minions, and Black finishes the warlock, but he and Dwarf Daggerface go down to a combination of thug minions and Warforged Daggerface's knives, and the flaming sphere does nothing. Aww. And LittleOne knocks out the barbarian. Meatwall, are you alright? Meatwall? His name is Arthur. Huh. That does sound like something Meatwall would say. But Draven, who has dropped down to the level of the tree line for cover, popping in and out from behind treetops, leans around to fire his crossbow, and is shot down by another volley of precisely armed daggers, with a little falling damage adding insult to injury. and things are looking really bad with all but LittleOne in negative hit points and Half-Orc actually dead. There's still a couple thugs, a mage, and Warforged Daggerface is pretty much full health.
Damn it, I can't beat him like this, with him sniping from his perfect ambush position. The only thing I can do is try to run away and hope to meet up with Angel and to come back and rescue them. Assuming she's nearby? And anything resembling running away is painful to LittleOne, but it seems like the only hope he has to save his friends, so he bypasses the blockade and makes a break for it. And it turns out that in addition to everything else he's good at, Warforged Daggerface has the run feat, giving him higher out-of-combat speed, especially since LittleOne recently switched to heavy armor. Also, being Warforged, this Daggerface is literally inexhaustible, like he could run for days straight if he had to. But LittleOne sees this as an opportunity to take him one-on-one. When he hears the Warforged scrambling over the fallen tree, he dodges into the brush beside the road and hides as best he can. And Warforged Daggerface runs right past and doesn't notice because running gives you a lot of penalties. And LittleOne's like, this is my chance. And he leaps out of the bush and bone crushes Warforged Daggerface and hits for almost 30 damage. And the bounty hunter takes it, but he's not bloodied. He's still at more than half health? I thought he was a glass cannon.
No, he's more of a mithril-plated dagger dispenser. And Warforged Daggerface tumbles away and ranged dagger trips him, and that's about the end. And now I have a serious Game Master problem. A party wipe, while not ideal, would be okay under many circumstances. But this is not one of those circumstances. First, it's kind of bad form to wipe them when one player wasn't around to help. I had reduced the number of minions a bunch, but in hindsight I really should have removed the Warlock as well to even up the odds. Secondly, it was never intended to be a fair fight. I had designed and scripted this encounter around this overpowering, smartass, awesome bounty hunter, who took on a bounty that he normally wouldn't have because the money was just too good. He hires a bunch of goons, plus his regular crew, and then, according to my plan, after a handful of his minions inevitably got crippled or killed by our heroes, Warforged Daggerface would feel guilty and try to call it off, which could have been some very interesting and hilarious role-playing, negotiating for the lives of his guys. The problem is, between the bad die rolls, being badly outnumbered, and, quite reasonably, prioritizing the bigger threats, the three players hardly killed any thug minions, especially since their half-plate gave them half-decent armor class. So by the time they had taken out a couple guys, the bounty hunters were clearly winning, and it no longer made any logical sense for them to give up. And now, what do I do? Let them die in this ignominious manner, and then have them start a new party built around Angel? You feel very foggy and your senses are dulled, but you can feel people pawing at your armor, then banging on it. Then you dimly perceive a voice, "Oh, God damn it, fine, leave it on." You dream. You don't remember most of it, but there is an image that remains burned in your mind. It's this symbol again, glistening silver on a black surface. When you wake up, you realize this is a dream you've had many times, though this may be the first time you've remembered it after waking. It isn't till LittleOne sees the light dancing on the 6 blades that he realizes his arms are tightly bound, and bound to something behind him. They all are. I'm not. Yeah, this was the next session, so Angel's back. And though they've been saved by first aid, they are still very beat up. They're each only at 1 hit point. I'm not. No, you discover this scene in the woods near the ambush site, and sneak up to watch. Feel free to intervene at any point.
Are you kidding? There are like 1 billion of those guys.
Also, with the other heroes at 1 hit point, even a crappy wizard could easily kill them all in 1 action. And now that they're all awake, Warforged Daggerface starts monologuing. We have a problem. And by we, I mean both the we, that is my men and I, and the collective we, that includes both us and you, the plural you, that's... Never mind. We have a problem. While I was hunting you down and the rest of you were napping...
You mean bleeding?
Yeah, human stuff like that. Anyway, while we were all occupied, my totally useful wizard used his skeezy magic to communicate with our intermediary, and that douchebag told him the bounty on you was revoked yesterday. The money pulled out of escrow. Just, sorry, don't need them anymore, dead or otherwise. I am so indescribably pissed off right now.
Yet you've been describing it constantly.
Look, bottom line, you have a man dead, I have a man dead.
2 men dead. We lost 2.
Even worse, I may have only known these guys a couple days, but they were working for me, and that makes me responsible for keeping them alive and when the worst happens, for making sure it was worth something.
It's been like a week.
What?
When we hired them, it was a Thursday. Today is Wednesday. That's not a couple days, it's a week.
Look, shut up a minute, okay? This is important shit. People are dead, and a lot of other people are not getting paid. Also, people are dead. Look, we've got 2 in the ground, and you've got 1. I don't blame you guys. It was a kill bounty. That's self-defense. I blame these pointless deaths on the assholes who put us up to this. We don't even take this kind of job normally, but the money was so good and whatever. Mistakes were made.
You're still a murderer.
Mistakes were made. The point is, we have a decision to make. The other point is, I, being the brilliant detective, found out who placed the bounty on you in the first place. Normally, I don't squeal on employers. Ever. Especially ones who go to so much trouble not to be found. But then, normally, they don't pull this kind of shit. And there's a whole banking system that's supposed to make these things ironclad.
Brilliant detective? The guy invited you to his house.
Only due to my incredible skills and personality. Also, shut up. I don't imagine you guys appreciate having all the greatest bounty hunters in the land sent after you, especially the magnificent Daggerface. His name is Matthew Patel. I don't know if that rings any bells for you, but apparently some little birdie told him how you guys killed his son, some country boy archer named Jimmy. Ran with the war bond? Apparently, the thought of a gang of thugs killing his only son, to protect a bunch of KTs no less, broke old man Patel's heart. Which in turn broke his mind, which in turn broke open his fat inherited bank account to get revenge. He lives down south in Hengal.
That dumbass?
That's such a letdown. All this stuff was just for that loser?
Which brings us to the big question. We patched you up a bit, though there wasn't much we could do for the dwarf.
Daggerface died? What the hell?
No, this guy's just making fun of his appearance.
Now that you know who caused you all this trouble, I have no doubt you will be paying the old double-crosser a little visit, but I would be remiss, for both myself and all these guys who count on me, if I released a pissed-off Orc Slayer, Artificer, and the guy with that crazy armor,
Crazy unstealable armor.
only to have them turn around and try to kill us the second they heal up.
And now Warforged Daggerface bends over LittleOne again, and he's like,
Now, you don't seem like the type to lie. So tell me, after hearing all this, and taking into account the fact that we didn't kill you, despite how much easier and lower risk it would make our lives, if we let you go, with most of your horses and gear, are you going to try to kill us later?
Most?
We may have taken a few little things, and some of your cash, to cover medical costs, widows' gilds, and also we won? I seem to recall somebody assuring us that upon your victory you were going to make my face into a helmet, and try to melt the rest of me down to extract the mithril. We, on the other hand, have left your armor, your cold weather gear, a whole bunch of other shit we frankly should just take on general principles, and your weapons if you swear not to come after us.
that sounds fairly reasonable from where I'm sitting.
I guess we can live with that.
Nope. You'll have to kill me. What? If you take anything from me, I will have to hunt you down.
I'm not sure you understand. I don't expect you to be my best friends. Mistakes were made. You have 1 in the ground, I have 2. But I'm trying for a compromise, where both sides' survivors can get on with our lives. Alive.
If I am missing a single coin, I will have to hunt you down.
Alright, we won't take any of your stuff. Anybody who has any of Sword Guy's stuff, put it back now.
How much are we missing?
They've taken all your and Draven's cash, but nothing else relevant. It's not much more than 1,000 gold.
1,000 gold?
We could have been dead, or naked. I'd say we're incredibly lucky.
Now you guys seem pretty sane. I can tell you understand. So we're back to the big question. Put simply, I need you to swear that you won't make any effort to track me down.
Boss?
Swear that you won't make any effort to track us down or to kill us. And then we'll go our separate ways. And it's really hard for LittleOne to accept losing to this obnoxious guy.
Or anyone, really.
But finally he's like, all right, I swear. Then I'll accept your word of honor. You'll forgive us if we don't untie you, but I'm confident you can escape as soon as you aren't being watched, and my men will be more comfortable if you don't know where we're headed. And he removes the manacles so they're only tied up, and cuts a little nick in Dwarf Daggerface's bonds to make sure they can get out. And as soon as they run off, Angel pops out and frees the others, and Dwarf Daggerface is like, ugh.
If I ever see that Mithril moron again, he took my name!
Technically, he had it first. My contact says he's been famous for at least 10 years. You guys can't do anything without me, can you?
Things certainly seem to go wrong when you aren't around. But they'll definitely have a chance to work out their frustrations next time on Tales from My D&D Campaign. What will you be doing while we're dealing with the old man? I think there's a slim chance I can still track down that cash. I think that intermediary guy must have left town in a hurry, and we're good at tracking, right, BX?
Aw, again? I hate that spell. What spell?
The one with the dancing. He wouldn't hate it so much if you guys would stop making fun of him when he does it.
You're just as bad as them.
What? I never said anything. I freaking love that spell.
You don't say it, but I can see it in your face.